You're watching this video right now either for two reasons. One, you want to know more about narcissism. You've been hearing people talk about narcissism and you want to know more. Or two, you're dealing with someone that you don't even know if this person is a narcissist or not. So you want to confirm if your intuition is right by watching this video. Whichever category you fall into, this video is for you. So first of all, let me define a narcissist. Simply put, a narcissist is someone who is extremely self-centered. Alright, so for the purpose of this video, I put down 4 types of narcissistic characteristics that you can see in people around you. Alright, so without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first category of narcissist is called the complete control narcissist. Yeah, so this type of narcissist, their characteristics, they come out as very charming when you see them for the first time, when you talk to them for the first time. They come out, they exude charmness, like you feel so loved, you feel so welcomed in their presence. Then all of a sudden they change. After a couple of weeks, couple of months of knowing them, they just become so cold and distant. And they make you feel like you are the cause of this, coldness. And you see yourself trying to, please them so that you can just go back to that old way of, that familiar, that old way of their charm. You try to force, you try to do everything with your power to bring back this charm. Meanwhile, what these people do is they make you feel, they make you trust them, not for the purpose of connecting with you, but rather to know your weak points. Yeah, so that they can control and manipulate you. A very good example is a Russian known as Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin was a normal middle-class citizen who fought his way up through his charm and you can say his hard work to become one of the top-ranking people in the Russian army. Then, when he became their leader, he suddenly changed. So Joseph Stalin, who was once very nice, very welcoming, very friendly, now started controlling his people. He started controlling his subsidiaries. There's a story of a time that he made them to dance, awkwardly to a music, and he enjoyed this embarrassment of their dance and was laughing and happy. He had become extremely in control as a narcissist. So people like this now, basically, they are very charming, but once they get you to trust them, they switch and become very cold and distant. Alright, so the next type of narcissist I'll be talking about is the theatrical narcissist. The theatrical narcissist has an insatiable desire for constant attention. They always want to be the center of attention. Take the story of Jean Dobelsier. This lady was so controlling, so narcissistic, that her parents had to send her to the convent because they couldn't just deal with her being in the house again. Then she got to the convent. She charmed everybody to like her. She was so active, so charming, so theatrical. But nobody knew she was toxic. Nobody knew she was a narcissist until they already became so fond of her. So you see her dramatizing, when she's sad, she does it with so much charisma. When she cries with more passion than people cry. She was just very extreme. Then a time came, she was born in the era when, people, exorcism was, the order of the day. So she became, when she was now bored, I would say bored, she now started acting like she was possessed, acting like wanting to be exorcised, so she started acting possessed. So there was a time she lied that she had a dream that one of the monks was, harassing her in her dream, and she made it so real. She made up the story. She was, she's very theatrical, you get, so she was very believable, and she implicated this monk to the point that they had to, behead him for committing such atrocity. Imagine, and this was even through a dream, not in reality. That was how theatrical, that's how dramatic she was. Then after this, she caused the death of this guy, of this monk. So it was now later, years later, after she felt guilty, that she confessed about lying about, she confessed about telling lies concerning that monk who was beheaded several years ago. You can see how self-centered this lady was, not even minding that her nature, she was so self-centered that she didn't care that her action had caused the death of another human being. Can you see how narcissistic that lady had been? How narcissistic Jean Dobelsier was. Okay, let me not get too wrapped up and emotional about these narcissistic examples. Okay, now the next narcissistic characteristic I'm talking about is the narcissistic couple. Okay, this narcissistic couple, they display tendencies of narcissism, self-centeredness, but at the same time they don't want to leave each other. So there's a cycle of hurting themselves, reconciling, hurting themselves again, reconciling, and not divorcing. They still stay as a couple. Can you see how funny that is? Okay, there's a story of a couple. For ease of narration, I'll call them John and Mary. Okay, so John proposed to Mary when he was at the age of 32 and she was at the age of 18. So for the first step he did to show that he really loved her and wanted to marry her was that he gave her his diary to read. And this diary contained many things about his past love affairs, his past girlfriends, his evil past. Yeah. So she read his diary and became jealous, and she started acting out, even to the point of saying she was not even ready to marry him again. Then he in turn was like feeling like he was honest, showing her his diary. Why should she be like this? That means she doesn't even love him. But anyways, this was the beginning of their cycle. They reconciled, they got married. Then along the line, years later, John developed, midlife crisis. I forgot to mention, John is a renowned and successful writer, so he's very rich. While Mary was not from a very wealthy family, but she was basically average, not as rich as John. But since they are married, she's approximately rich. Yeah. Okay, back to the midlife crisis. He started feeling, has been wealthy all his life, but now he felt spiritually empty. So to do this, he gave up his copyright claim on his books and gave up all his wealth just to be more spiritual. But Mary found this act of his very, very, deceptive. She felt it was not being true and he was just deceiving himself. So to cut the story short, she was not supportive of this idea. One thing led to another. She left the house out of frustration, like someone was once rich, now having to, suffer. And yeah, she left the house, left him. Then John went looking for her, apologized for his mistakes, for his behavior. Okay, decided to give her a part of the wealth that he got from his books, and they settled it. Another thing happened again. They fought. Mary became, they fought because John didn't keep to what he said he was going to do after he came to reconcile and beg her some days a while ago. John and Mary then she now started acting to the point of being suicidal. You can see, too self-centered that she wants to commit suicide. Why? Isn't that too much? Isn't that too extreme compared to the matter on ground? But anyways, she attempted suicide many times. She wanted to drown herself, and people came to the rescue on time and all. Then, okay, now John was now the one tired of Mary. Then he left her. Then he became sick on his journey away from her. He became sick. Then he started missing his wife Mary. He tried to journey back, and on his way, he died. Then Mary now started feeling guilty. I was now like, oh, why did I do this? Why did I live like this all these years? And because of John's death, being all sober, and eventually she killed herself too. You can see, you can see how dramatic this couple are or is. Okay, so with this story I've given, you can get the example you can understand the narcissistic couple. Okay, the final type of narcissism I'm talking about in this video is the healthy narcissist. That is the type of narcissism that is not focused, is focused on controlling people, but to their own benefit. Let me say that again. The healthy narcissist is focused on controlling people, but for the benefit of that person or those people and himself or herself. A very good example is the Russian sailor Tsar Singleton, who got trapped with 27 men in Antarctica during one of his voyages. So they were trapped with little food, little water, and little chances of reaching safe land. And throughout that period, Tsar Singleton put it upon himself to keep these people in check, control every activity on the ship as they try to sojourn towards safe land. He put it upon himself to be in control of each of the 27 members of the crew, and to make each of them feel safe, feel good about themselves, and be more effective. These 4 types of narcissism, 3 of them, the complete control narcissist, the narcissistic couple, and the theatrical narcissist, 3 of them are very toxic. Watch this next video where I'm talking about how you can decipher these people, these narcissists, before you become too close to them to the point of being negatively destroyed by their narcissistic tendencies.